हेलो दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका टफ स्टोरी पॉडकास्ट में, जहां हम मिलते हैं इंस्पायरिंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स और प्रोफेशनल्स से जो अपनी कहानियां, स्ट्रगल्स और उनके सक्सेस इनसाइट्स हमारे साथ शेयर करते हैं।
Very interesting thing you just mentioned. I didn't like working for Microsoft.
Even the work was great, but I didn't like that monotonous working from 9 to 6, that kind of thing.
Is it a function of volume? Because the EV market has taken off.
Because initially the battery was made of cobalt also. Now I think most of the cases they remove the cobalt now. If I say lithium, can you guess how much percentage is there in a battery in terms of weight?
2% or 3%?
Just 4%. That's it. So if you want more voltage, you have to connect them in series basically. But if you want to increase the current, then you connect them in parallel.
So let's talk about Xbattery, since we have been talking about batteries. So when did you start that, and what is Xbattery?
So Xbattery is
ये एपिसोड काफी इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाला है, तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं आज का टफ स्टोरी।
Welcome to the podcast, Satish. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Amit. How are you?
Good. Welcome, Venu.
Thank you.
It's a hot summer day, so wanted to catch up and discuss about you and your work, past experiences, सब कुछ आपके बारे में. So I was going through your LinkedIn and I was quite surprised with a software and a hardware department discussion. So normally people जो लोग software में काम करते हैं वो सिर्फ software में करते हैं, कुछ लोग hardware में ही रहते हैं. And I saw a mix of both of those. But before we go that, where are you based out of?
I'm based out of Hyderabad.
Born and brought up in Hyderabad?
Born in Karnataka.
Okay.
Near the border, not very far.
Which place?
Raichur.
Okay.
Okay, and then I was
Guntakal division in railways.
Oh, okay. Then you understand.
I've been in Guntakal.
Yeah. So I'm from Vanaparthi. It's 140 kilometers from here, around 150 kilometers. So all my childhood happened there. Yeah. So my grandparents used to stay in Raichur. So I was born there, but later we shifted.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. And in Hyderabad, I've been here for more than, I think, almost 20 years. Yeah.
So all your teenage was still in Raichur?
In Vanaparthi.
Vanaparthi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which is nearby.
So you did your college in Hyderabad?
I did my college in, especially plus 2, I did it in Ongole.
Ongole, okay.
Yeah, there used to be a college called Sri Pratibha. It used to be very famous back then. So my parents sent me there. I don't know what was the reason.
Which year was it?
It was around 2001. Okay. And then the remaining, after plus 2, I did my engineering in computer science in Mahbub Nagar.
Which college was it?
Sri Sai Jyoti.
Sri Sai
Yeah.
Jyoti.
Okay. And what field were you into?
I was into computer science.
So engineering.
Engineering, yeah.
Okay.
Computer science engineering.
So what did you do after your BTech?
I got placed in, I got like 3 or 4 jobs. So I had that luxury of choosing. So I've chosen TCS over others.
What were the other offers?
Tata Elxsi,
Okay.
which I heard it is good.
That, was
Now
that would be in hardware and embedded systems
Exactly.
and all that.
Yeah, but I had some technical issue because they were looking for 70% as a limit. I got around 69 point something. I attended anyway. I got into it, but I don't want to take the risk. So I went with the less risky option, and I got placed in Wipro also.
Okay.
So I've chosen TCS. I stayed there for 2.5 years, 3 years.
So what were the initial salaries like in TCS? I have never worked for anyone. So
22,000,
Okay.
23,000. This is back in 2008.
Oh, so that's good actually, if I'm not wrong.
Exactly, it's good. Compared to what freshers are getting nowadays, I think this is very good.
Adjusted against inflation.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Going back to the earlier numbers.
And after 3 years, I moved to Microsoft.
Okay.
And then I was working in a software called Microsoft Dynamics.
Okay.
It's the enterprise CRM software.
How many years did you work in Microsoft?
3 years.
Was it here in Microsoft IDC?
Yeah,
Hyderabad?
Microsoft IDC. Another department, but here only in Gachibowli. And then I was in New Zealand for more than 6 months as part of Microsoft project, and again I moved back. For some reason I didn't like working for Microsoft, so I exited, and then I started as a corporate trainer.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah.
But that's very interesting thing you just mentioned. I didn't like working for Microsoft. I mean, early days, why didn't you like it? No, most people like it, right? It's a beautiful campus.
Facilities
A
were
lot of fun.
Great, but I didn't like that monotonous working from 9 to 6, that kind of thing. And even the work was great, but after a few years you felt like you're part of the, or you don't see the result immediately, right? You are working in some project which is very, you don't see the result, or you don't see
You
the
don't get the
satisfaction.
satisfaction.
Yeah, the fulfillment, right? The sense of fulfillment I was not getting. And then when I was a child, I liked to be a teacher. Okay, so I explored what actually is the intersection of teaching and the corporate world, which is corporate training, right? So I got into that, and then I worked as a corporate trainer, and then I moved back to US.
What did you train as a
Again,
corporate
same
trainer?
Microsoft Dynamics.
Okay.
So whatever you were working on, that you started training to others.
Correct.
Which you did not get the satisfaction. Now you got the satisfaction of teaching.
I started getting the satisfaction, and the pay was really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Better
Per day,
than when you're in Microsoft?
better than when I was in Microsoft.
But it's freelancing. I mean, on
Exactly,
and off
freelancing.
kind of thing.
You don't need to work all the month. All you have to do is you have to get the engagement. So a typical engagement lasts for a week. So you have to travel. So you get to travel. You have to meet new people, which I liked. Explore the new culture. Having different kinds of food. So I traveled almost a lot of places in India, most of the places, and a lot of places in abroad also. So you
So
have
it's like you're running your own agency, or you're completely
I
freelancing?
was an individual capacity only.
Okay.
So I didn't form any company back then, because you can work as an individual also. So I had my own GST and everything. I became vendor for a lot of companies as well, including Microsoft also, by the way. I went to Microsoft. I met same people as a trainer. And the pay was good. So all you have to do is work for a week. The remaining 3 weeks were free time, so you can explore whatever you want to explore.
But what about the instability, or the thinking that, will I get another gig next month or the month after that?
Initially I had that apprehension, but later once I got the confidence, I started getting a lot of these inquiries. So typically only 50% of them will convert. So I had some money, not a lot, but I think that could suffice.
How many years did you do the corporate training gig?
I think I did because once I started corporate training, I moved back to US, and then I did the usual job. That was for 1 year.
Once you started corporate training, again you went to US.
Again, I had to go to US because of some my commitments. I had some financial things to take care of. So I thought I could at least go for some period and then come back. So I went there, and then I worked there for 1 year, and then I moved back. Anyway, I didn't like the place, so I moved back and I started it again.
You started corporate training, or you
Corporate trading again until 2019.
Okay.
And since I had a lot of connections, because the advantage of being a corporate trainer is you can meet all big people. Okay, you can meet their head of the departments or directors and all. So I could talk to them, and I was pitching for consulting work also. And then so I had a lot of connections. So that led to thinking like, hey, why can't I start my own firm? So I started my first firm, which is called Pascal Case. It's still there. I started this in 2019.
Okay.
Pascal Case.
Pascal Case.
Okay.
Which is inspired by this camel case, type of coding, right? You have camel case. So there is another type of coding called Pascal Case.
Oh.
Snake Case.
Snake case, yes. And fortunately, pascalcase.com was available. So that was another reason.
Yeah.
And here also the name of the company is Pascal Case. That company was, private limited company was available. So, okay, why not?
So you were alone in the whole process, creating your own company or corporate thing, no friends?
No friends. I
or
was
partners?
Alone. I was alone.
Okay.
One friend helped me. Once I started the company, one friend took 5% of the company. But 95 is still owned by me.
So what happened? What did you do as a part of Pascal Case?
Again, same thing. Enterprise CRM, which I am aware, completely aware of by that time. And then, so I knew where the gaps were. So we built these enterprise developer tools. So we have a lot of developer tools for data migration and also data governance. And also metadata explorer tools. So I built all those tools. So now primary source of revenue for Pascal Case is licenses, selling of those things. So our customers are usually Microsoft customers who bought Microsoft Dynamics.
Okay.
So very niche.
So these are like plugins that go into the
kind of plugins.
Add-ons or plugins
yes.
that you buy in their marketplace and.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
In Microsoft Marketplace, all our tools are listed. You can try them for free. But if you want to if you want to have all the features, so you have to purchase license from us. And so that's.
So what are the kind of features that give productivity boost or?
Especially with enterprise software, so we have to deal with a lot of tables in the database. Sometimes they run into thousands. Then you don't know where your data is. Identifying the personal information or specific information of your interest is very difficult.
So you need a database for a database.
yeah, you can say that. Because so many tables, right? For example, if you take SAP has, I don't know, I heard, even I'm not sure, they have more than 70,000 tables. Wow. If you take all the modules. 70,000, imagine if you want to do data migration. Right?
Maybe
so
they don't want to data migration.
Yeah, I heard Microsoft is still using SAP for their internal ERP purposes because they couldn't get rid of it. And Microsoft has its own software called Microsoft Dynamics. They call it finance and operations. They sell it for other companies, but they cannot.
But for themselves, it might be that they have so much data that migrating itself is a big task.
Correct.
So rather, let's continue.
Correct.
Till there's no problem. इतना बड़ा हाथी बन गया है कि अब उसको हटाना मुश्किल है.
हाथी को पालो.
पालो.
It's very surprising that Microsoft still uses SAP, but they advocate theirs for their customers.
But then Microsoft is so big, right? I mean, for their customers, depending on their budget, they have something to offer.
These ERPs, that's the reason if you're a greenfield company, it's better to select once and for all. You cannot change it. Now Tesla has taken Microsoft Dynamics.
Okay.
They're still continuing with that.
So what happened after Pascal Case, or what was the Pascal Case journey?
It was good because I didn't raise any money. Right? Otherwise it could have been a very, very challenging thing. So I worked on my own terms. I didn't concentrate on growth. I concentrated on more like a work-life balance. So I was having balancing everything. So I was not worried, if it is not grown by much. But fortunately, now we have grown to 35 employees.
Nice.
So it's still going on. Yeah. But there are opportunities for growth, especially if you invest. But I thought, okay, I think this is fine. So because I wanted to move out of software, which the question you were asking, right?
Why? Why is the question?
The thing is, it's all about my vision. It's not like what I'm working on. My vision is at least we have to do something for the society, and I love the environment. Okay. So I was always wondering, what we can do. I still remember when we had this, when I came to know about solar panels when I was a kid. I was always fascinated by it. Why can't we have solar panels everywhere? Right? But
so you must know the answer now. Why can't we have the solar panels everywhere?
Exactly. I know the answer now. Because that time we are more ambitious rather than not thoughtful. But I realized, so since I couldn't do the in engineering, I felt sometimes that I should not take computer science. Instead, I could go for other disciplines such as electrical engineering or mechanical or electronics. But for some reason, I took that computer science. But later I learned, okay, because nowadays it has become very easy to learn.
True.
Right? You don't need to go to college and learn. So coming to my vision, I wanted to do something especially with respect to the climate. So I was looking for all the opportunities where the business use case also should exist, right? So it should be the intersection of your vision plus the business use case also. Right? So I was exploring a lot of technologies within the renewable energy, right from the beginning, from the manufacturing till the end of life of the products. So I realized energy storage is something which is untapped, especially in India. Okay, and also when I was in US, I stumbled upon a Powerwall, Tesla Powerwall. Then I thought, okay, why do they need Powerwall? Because I never observed any power cut. Because I was there for more than 1 year, I've never observed any power cut, right? So in India, and nowadays it's better, but back in those days, power cut is
Always
kind of
power
daily
cuts.
phenomena, right? It's part and parcel of the life because we don't even think, right? So for them, if power cut happens, that's in the news.
Yeah.
So then I realized, I think this is needed in India, more in India than here. But that time battery costs were kind of prohibitive. So back in 2022, then I realized, I think because I've been tracking all the things, I always follow a lot of news about renewable energy, electric vehicles, and all. And I realized the prices were falling like anything. So prices have fallen 90% in last 10 years. Can you believe?
Wow. Is it a function of volume? Because the EV market has taken off, maybe the production was able to be more efficient at scale.
That is one case. The other case is the advancement in the technology also, the battery technology. Because initially the battery was made of cobalt also. Now I think most of the cases they remove the cobalt now. So most of the Indian cars now they don't have cobalt.
Do you mean within lithium-ion chemistry there is cobalt also added in the past?
Yeah, NMC.
Okay.
In NMC type of, which is a lithium. Within the lithium, the nickel, manganese, and cobalt. NMC means. So cobalt was a part of that chemistry, right? So most of the Tesla cars had this one. Nowadays they are using lithium iron phosphate, LFP, lithium ferrous phosphate.
Okay. And when you say technology has changed, it must be. It probably takes decades of research to really make any small innovation in the battery space, I presume. Because maybe there are some fundamental limitations to energy storage per weight, or it's not easy to innovate in this space. I'm just trying to get a perspective of how you are going about it. Or
contrary to popular belief, lithium is something unexplored area because we have been using lead acid for more than 100 years. It's very old technology. Lead acid, what we find even in our houses, they call it a battery inverter. Right? Yeah. So very bulky and all. But when these mobile phones came, then the
batteries came up.
Exactly, the driving factor, that was the biggest driving factor, especially handheld devices, laptops and all. And then they started researching on it. And on a big scale, I think the companies have started researching from 2010. Okay, 2010. So in 15 years, so a lot of changes happened for the lithium. But I'm sure there is a fundamental limit on how much you can store, right? Obviously, that's a physics, right? So I think, but there are a lot of unexplored things also. But as you said, the life cycle is more, I think 5 years or 7 years. But with incremental changes, you can do a lot. Okay. Maybe this is like a beginning of the technology, right? So you have large gains for even small changes. Once it is stabilized, probably you don't have that thing anymore. But that is the reason.
Sharing sodium ion now.
Right. Yeah. Sodium is another area. So we don't need to limit ourselves to lithium only, right? So we have other salt also, like sodium. So sodium again, people started exploring, and I think mostly it is very, very successful in the labs. Some companies have started commercializing it also, right? But there are fundamental constraints there as well.
Isn't the new recently announced BYD cars which came with them super fast charging, that's based on sodium batteries?
I don't think so. I think it is on lithium only.
It's on lithium only?
Yeah, lithium only.
Then how were they able to accomplish something which others cannot?
Because they started, because they have been investing billions in that thing. See, we came to know about batteries like 1 or 2 years ago, right? And when India thinks about the batteries, we want to be on the top. But when did you start thinking about it? Right? So you have to have a vision. That is the reason vision is important. Their government helped their companies to build it. For example, BYD, I think the key investor is CCP, Chinese Communist Party, right? So you have to have some ambitions.
Right.
And the same thing goes with the Starlink also, right? People are, why can't India build Starlink? You have to think, this 10 years before, right?
The scale are completely different, and I think BYD has just announced they're coming to Hyderabad. I mean, Telangana, they are investing 10 billion or something.
Right.
So that's
but they refuted again today. Yeah, they said it's a false news. Yeah, I don't know.
But in fact, when the news came out a week back, I saw a lot of movement in the Indian automobile stocks, feeling the pressure because of the Trump's tariff announcements, plus also BYD entering India. And just yesterday, if that is fake news, then I'm not sure how did Telangana government allocate initial 100 acres of land also. They announced that this is the specific location where we are announcing this land. So not sure what is true these days.
Because that was released by the company only.
Yeah.
So, or they don't want to announce at this stage, I guess.
And at the
They
same
may
time,
have that plan.
I'll just back up my own line.
Yeah.
KTR also came back and said that this is our own effort. We put up 10 years back. In 2013, we put an effort on this. 12 years later, if the current government, which is Congress, takes credit, it's completely unfair. We have put efforts.
Correct.
Which means that now if the company is backing off, at least there was something
Correct.
in progress. It's not completely a rumor.
Correct. Yeah, that I
The
agree.
past minister cannot just in the air discuss that, hey, we worked on this and say that, take credit
Correct.
of it.
Yeah, I completely agree. But I didn't know the reason why they refuted that claim. Probably, I think they might have had some other interests, I guess.
I think the
Or they
central
might be
government has
still-
also not given them permission yet.
Earlier, yes.
Yes.
Earlier they haven't given. But now, I don't see any news that they have given now.
But that would be interesting that, if such a big company, which is even competing Tesla and beating Tesla sales numbers, when we talk about BYD, if they are entering India and that too in our state, that would be complete transformation in terms of the whole EV adoption in India, because we would be looking at more affordable cars if they are manufacturing or at least assembling and in that area at least.
It will be a big boost for automotive sector, even stationary energy storage sector also. Because BYD doesn't just sell the cars, it also sells the battery packs and those batteries also.
They're into buses, they're into
Right.
even so they have their own electric yacht, and they have almost
Everything.
all modes of transportation is taken care of.
Correct. Yeah.
They're very big actually.
They are very big. Yeah.
So let's talk about Xbattery, since we have been talking about batteries. So when did you start that, and what is Xbattery?
So Xbattery is we built large scale battery packs, okay, and its associated technology also. So battery pack, we don't build cells, by the way. Cells are sourced from elsewhere. So we source the cells, we connect them in series and parallel.
I don't understand cells and packs. So
Cell
what is a
nothing but
battery
a
and
normal.
what's a cell?
You have like a AAA battery, right?
Yes.
A normal battery.
Yes.
So that is not rechargeable battery. You use it and throw it away.
Throw it away.
Right? But our phone batteries are lithium batteries. They are rechargeable.
Rechargeable. Okay.
Right. So that is like a one cell. Okay. So that also looks like your normal batteries only. So you can connect them. For example, if you want your voltage to be increased. Okay. Let's say each cell has got some voltage. Okay. So when you put multimeter, so you see the voltage 3.2 volts. Okay. That is the standard for one of the LFP cell. So if you want more voltage, you have to connect them in series basically. In torchlight, we connect the batteries in series.
Right.
You put like 3 or 4
In a queue.
Yeah. So, but if you want to increase the current, then you connect them in parallel. Okay. So, for example, for a car, take a car, right? So it needs around let's say 800 volts. So you connect all these cells in series to achieve that.
So how many cells would you have to connect? 4. Okay, 3
Lot,
volts.
thousands.
300, at least in series. In
Correct.
series, you would probably connect 300 or
Only,
so.
yeah, in series, yes. Yeah.
And then parallel to get the current. How much current do you typically need in a
I think for a motor, it may take 400
amps?
400 amps, even
So
500
400
amps. That's
So
a typical-
typically your cells are, what is the C rating or how many amps can it continuously discharge?
That depends on the type of the cell. Again, we have different types of cells. Normally, cylindrical cells you might have seen in batteries, right? So that is one type of cell, mostly used by Tesla. And we have these blocks, rectangular blocks. It is called prismatic.
Okay.
In our phone, there is that's in the phone that's called pouch cells. In our phone, you have like a soft material kind of thing, right? That's like a pouch cell. So that's mostly used in small electronics.
Okay.
So if you take that the cylindrical or prismatic are very huge. So it can have ampere rating of 100 Ah. One cell 100 Ah. If you want to have smaller cells, you can have it. So they are like even 10 Ah also, 5 Ah, 10 Ah, something like that.
So the smartphone batteries which you are talking about are dry cell batteries. And then what happens when you don't use it for a year or two? Why does it get bulged up? Any idea on that? It gets swollen and
Usually, if there is any manufacturing flaw, it happens. Okay, but nowadays the currently manufactured cells are more stable now. Okay, there are very very few manufacturing defects. Okay, but a little bit of bulge is expected.
okay.
So which is common. So as the age goes by, especially if it is a large cells, if they are large cells, because of gravity, so all that electrolyte, it comes down. If you keep using for 5 years or even close to 10 years, so a little bit of bulge is expected. So when we design our battery packs, right, so we leave certain room for that bulging also.
Okay.
But what you are mentioning is abnormal bulging, which is dangerous.
Their gases probably built up as a part of
Which
that.
gets released. So what is the standard size of battery size which you are talking about?
So what Xbattery is building is, as I said, in continuation to what I said earlier. So we build battery packs and we build a BMS. That is our key component.
Battery management system.
Yeah, battery management system. So that is our core innovation. Because cells we get it from others, right? But in order to control the cells, you need the battery management system. So it does some core functions such as protection, right? So for example, if you keep charging beyond 100%, it should not charge, right? So this BMS stops that, okay, limits that. And when you are discharging continuously, so beyond a certain threshold, you should not discharge. Otherwise, the battery will die permanently, right? So this BMS will take care of it. So there are some sometimes when there is a high current, you have to protect the cell, right? So all these things are like protection mechanisms. And also when you connect a lot of cells in series, right? So the first cell in that thing, may
get
have
more current
and all. So it has to take a lot of burden than the last cell, right? So you have to do balancing also.
How
If
do
you
you do
don't,
balancing?
we actually do. There are two kinds of balancing. One is active, the other one is passive. So passive means we use resistors. Okay. So it's not like a lot of voltage difference. So maybe it happens very minute, voltage and minute current. Okay. So you dissipate that extra energy that is holding, that is present in the battery cell in terms of heat through that some resistors. Okay. So that is called passive balancing.
Okay.
So basically you make sure that all are, equal voltages.
But these things are required when you are manufacturing your own batteries. If I am buying a battery from a automobile company.
No, they just manufacture the cell, right?
Yeah.
They don't care after that. So all these problems come once you start assembling them, stacking them
Into series and
into
parallel
series and
systems.
parallel.
But who would do that? I mean, What kind of customers would do that normally?
Everyone does that. That's how the industry is. So battery manufacturing is one industry, right? After that, there are a lot of companies who are only in the battery assembling. Okay. For example, Tesla does not manufacture the cells.
Oh really? I thought they had their own cells.
No, they partner with Panasonic. Of course, they have technology, so they just license it to them. Panasonic manufacture it very well. They know that, so they just give it for outsourcing. Because manufacturing of the cell is more like it's into chemical. Exactly, it's into chemical engineering and all, right? That's a different industry altogether.
Yeah.
So what Tesla does is it takes the cells, it arranges them in parallel and series, it puts its own BMS, nice software, and then it controls everything. So a lot of companies do that. So the primary cell manufacturing, for example, the BYD is in both, everything. That's an exception. For example, you might have heard a company called LG Chemicals. LG Chemicals. It's a very big company from Korea. So they manufacture the cells. That's it.
Okay.
That is their primary strength is that.
Can't India do that?
It can do that.
I mean, do we have the raw materials for that?
We have electrolyte thing, right? See, it's not about raw material means, again, we'll dissect the raw material. If I say lithium, can you guess how much percentage is there in a battery in terms of weight?
2% or 3%?
Just 4%. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? So when I have like a 100 kg battery, lithium battery, all you have is like a 4 kg of lithium.
So what is the other 96%?
The remaining is because as a kid, I think you might have opened the battery, right? You see like a carbide kind of thing, the black thing, yeah. So that's mostly electrolyte. Okay. That's a graphite kind of thing, right? So that is manufactured in India. That is there already because it is used for other industries, right? So what we need is only few things which are missing in that whole equation. For example, we need lithium. And recently lithium was found in JK, Jammu Kashmir.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So we can just do it. It's not rocket science also. It may need specialized processes.
Hazardous? Lithium mining?
Usually, no. Compared to the all other mining. Because all this lithium is mined is majorly, if you take like these salt, right? Normal sodium chloride. So sodium chloride, how do we produce? Maybe you might have seen a lot of lands in Rajasthan, right?
They spread it and
Correct.
He's from
Kutch.
Kutch.
That's where
So
we have the salt.
Yeah, so probably you know it better, right? So they just leave the water into the large pools,
bodies,
right?
huh?
So
large
it is
bodies.
toxic because it leaches into the soil probably, lithium, and contaminates water table.
Because usually it is done in a different place, not like a very, for example, in JK is mostly, I think the place where they found is mostly kind of a desert, right? So a lot of places in Australia also, okay, Australian outback, mostly desert. So I think we need to see, how it impacts the environment, like how it leaches and contaminates the groundwater, and what kind of the organisms, got affected because of that. But any mining is contaminated. Not good for environment. So it's all about how much benefit we are getting out of it.
So you get the batteries from somewhere. Do you try to procure batteries from outside, or is it internally within India itself?
That's a good question. Okay, our goal is again to make in India and do everything here. So if I have a choice, I would get everything here.
But you don't have a choice.
I don't have a choice because the factories are still being built as we speak.
For the mass.
Exactly. So they are still, they are there. I see the progress, right? So we already started getting small cells. So
from those factories? From
factories in India. So there is a company called Nash Energy, NASH, Nash Energy. So they manufacture batteries, lithium batteries in Bangalore. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Our priority is obviously to take from them. But they are manufacturing small cells. So
by small, what do you mean?
Small means like a 15 Ah.
Okay.
What we use is 100 Ah. Right.
Okay.
So we have to connect like 6 or 7
higher cells.
So we can still build the battery pack, but we have to connect a lot of cells in order to achieve it. Right. So currently we are importing from China, but in 2 years I hope we don't import anything.
So what about? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just wondering, like, how come did you switch from a software to hardware company? You never had done engineering around like chemical engineering or anything as such. So apart from the money aspect, what was the motivation?
The motive is my vision only, right? I want to do something for environment. So which field helps me more? So I selected the energy storage, battery energy storage.
But are you able to build clients for that? Because I think if you talk about the OEMs and all the major companies, they have their own suppliers. So who would be your target customer?
Okay, that is also a very good question, because how do you market it, right? So coming back to our battery packs, so currently we are building 5 kilowatt hour one. So the measure is kilowatt hour. Okay, so that means that in 1 hour, if you can continuously draw 5,000 watts. Okay.
What can 5,000 watts do in
Like for a
house? Example.
You can run AC.
How many ACs?
You can run 5 ACs.
1 kilowatt current ACs?
Yeah, like
Okay, they're efficient.
110.
So basically, like our computer setup, we need 200 watts.
Yeah, that's it.
Roughly 200
That's it,
watts,
yeah.
and AC is like a 1 kilowatt, 1000.
Yeah.
So 5 kilowatt is like 2-3 ACs with all your fan, tube light, a whole
You
house
can run continuously. Yeah, you can run continuously.
For 1 hour.
for 1 hour
1 hour.
Yeah. But
at a full load.
At full load.
If you turn off
You use only 1 kilowatt, 5 hours.
5 hours.
Right.
So your current battery setup is 5 kilowatt hour.
5 kilowatt hour, which we are building. So we are using our own BMS, battery management system. By the way, for people who don't know what is BMS, as I said, I was talking about protection mechanism and cell balancing mechanism also. So all these things are done through a PCB, printed circuit board. So it's an electronic board, and we write code onto that into the microcontroller. So that is called BMS software. So we write that in embedded C language. Okay, and we attach that all these cells. We take connections from negative and positive.
Do you take individual cells or probably just the series?
We take
end-to-end
individual cells. We take individual cells.
But you will end up having many cells that connect to the BMS, right? Meaning.
Yeah, if you take 100 Ah, we take one big 100 Ah cell.
But then you can connect one.
Yeah, exactly. 100 Ah, and typical voltage is nominal voltage. 3. We call it 3.2. Okay. So with 3 of that, you can form 1 kilowatt hour. So our 5 kilowatt hour device, which we are building it for homes, so that is our first product, will have 15 of such cells. That's it. 15 all in series. No parallel is required.
Okay. So that means you only need 5 to do cell charging or control for 5 cells. 5S configuration for your BMS.
No, it is not 5S because they are individual cells, right? So we need like 15S. Right now
15 cells. Yeah, 15.
15S. But our BMS can do more. I can proudly say that our BMS is 800 volt BMS.
800 volt.
It can support 800 volt. So you can connect even hundreds of cells also. How can we connect hundreds of cells? Because you can daisy chain it. So those all the probes that are coming in, we have like master and slave configuration, right? So the slave can be multiple slaves can be connected to one master. Okay. So in that way you can make very big battery packs also, which can run cars, trucks, buses, right?
So what about the safety mechanisms? We keep hearing in news some car exploded or some scooter exploded, EV scooter, because of heat, etc. What are all the different protections you need to have in place to avoid an explosion or a fire at home?
So the first thing is you need to have solid BMS. Okay. And first of all, cell integrity should be good. Yeah. So nowadays the cell itself is more is being checked for quality. So every cell we check for everything. A lot of tests we do. Okay. And once it passes all quality checks, then our BMS also is tested rigorously. Right. So in the BMS, again, you test it for a lot of things. You test it for temperature, the kind of temperatures that we get in India. Right. Yeah. So you have to test for those. Extreme. So initially, I think we have seen a lot of fires from two-wheelers.
Yeah.
This was around 2 to 3 years ago. Right, in one summer, a lot of fires happened. Why? Because all those battery packs were imported from China.
And China would only use US temperatures probably.
Exactly, because it's a cold country, mostly cold region, right? So they would never test for the temperatures that we have here, right? And also they got a lot of substandard because these are all like a lot of unknown companies, right? If you see any who manufactured that scooter, you don't even know the name. right? Because they got out of the shelf, on the shelf BMS from China.
Again, we are a price sensitive market, and I wouldn't blame China because we are the ones who are importing it. We have the option to import a costly option, and we have an option to import cheaper
yeah.
option. Now, a few vendors go and buy cheaper options, and then they get burned. We say that China is the problem. That's wrong, because all the Western companies are also importing from China.
Correct.
And they don't get exploded.
So when I say China, I mean, yeah, exactly. That part of the China where they get the cheaper ones, uncertified ones.
Uncertified ones.
Obviously, BYD is very quality.
Exactly.
Their battery technology is almost equivalent or beyond that of Tesla's. Okay. So obviously, we shouldn't put everything in one basket. I would agree. But usually, when I say China, I mean those uncertified BMS battery packs from China. Okay. Not from established companies.
True.
So how do you test incoming cells that you get as a part of your manufacturing?
First, we go for the prestigious cell manufacturer.
Okay, that's the only safe.
That is, and also there is a grading also.
Strategy.
Grading also. Grade A, Grade B, Grade C. Grade A means automotive condition. Okay. So they test it again whenever the manufacturer tests it. We also test it from our end. We test the polarity also. Okay. But unfortunately, we cannot open it and test it because it's sealed. Okay.
So just a random question, out of curiosity. See, when we use a AAA battery or AA battery, these are dry cell batteries. Okay. When we talk about the home inverters we had in the past, if they get dented somewhere, the acid would leak out. What about these car batteries and everything?
There is no acid in this.
There's nothing. So in case there's an accident,
they won't leak them. Explode. I'm guessing.
Why does the whole thing set up completely explode? Why not? There could be some kind of mechanism.
Because there is something called explosion happens from a phenomena called thermal runaway. Okay, so thermal runaway is a phenomena where a lot of energy, because you can imagine a car goes for 500 kilometers, how much energy it has, right? So all that energy is stored, in terms of electrons being forcefully fit into confined area, right? So when you have this positive, negative happens, whenever that contact happens, so there is sudden release of energy.
All the energy going in one go.
If you are controlling it and using it, you can feed motors and all. But uncontrolled thing, so that it explodes suddenly. But this explosion happens in very, very few scenarios. Okay, that is the reason. If you see last 1 or 2 years, you find very few,
cases.
fire accidents, right? From the EV 2-wheelers or 4-wheelers. 4-wheelers are, I think, only 1 or 2 happened, as far as I remember. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. But I think one Tata Nexon happened. We don't know the reason, why it happened. I think they said that it was because of the modifications they have done. These guys.
That's a standard PR response, I would say that.
Yeah. Because they actually, could be. Yeah, it could be it. But if you see, Tata has manufactured so many vehicles, right? I think probably Tata was the first, I think they're close to 1 lakh EVs now. But how many got fire accidents? Only 1 or 2.
True.
So I would say that is
pretty safe.
Extremely safe. Yeah.
So when you said you are manufacturing a 5 kilowatt-hour battery pack, who would buy it?
Our revenue model when we established the company was to sell only the BMS to existing companies, to EV companies, to stationary energy storage companies. So like a UPS, home inverter manufacturers and all. But we realized that would be very difficult to do initially. So that is the reason we came up with our own battery pack.
They have their own solutions already, right?
Who?
For BMS. All of these companies, UPS or...
They don't have, no. Again,
or they probably get it from...
Exactly, they get it from elsewhere.
Okay.
In fact, even all these manufacturers, Indian EV manufacturers, so they get their BMS from China and Europe.
Okay. But why should they take the risk with the BMS that, say, you come along and say, here is a BMS?
Initially, it has to, somewhere it has to happen, right? That they have to stop importing.
But is there any incentive in terms of performance or
in terms of cost? Because, we can control it. And another significant thing is the safety of it, right? So you're putting, because there is everything is connected. So your BMS is also connected to the internet. So how much comfortable are we with our car if it is controlled by our enemy state? It may not be question for individual, but it would be certainly question for manufacturer and the government, right? So at some point, they don't want to import from China, right? Now they are importing because they don't have any other choice. So if you take Tata, they import from a company called Goshen.
Hmm.
Goshen, it's a battery cell manufacturer, and they also manufacture battery packs for cars. And if you take Mahindra, the new cars, right? So they partnered with BYD,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
So all these companies, if you see, everything, the back-end technology is China only, right? But these companies take any opportunity that they have if they can get manufacture in India.
Hmm.
And building BMS is actually multi-year process. It's not like a very simple thing, right? So you need like specialized knowledge on it, okay? And that begs the question, because I am not from the the research background on the BMS. So that is the reason I was searching for the co-founder who has all this knowledge.
on all this.
So I found my co-founder name is Sonu Mishra.
Okay.
I found him on LinkedIn. He was working for Robert Bosch in Germany.
Okay.
This was around 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because without that I cannot start planning or building my own BMS, right? I need strong technical co-founder. Okay. Even though I started learning, but obviously I cannot take care of everything, right? So we started working he started working as freelancer. Okay. And initially we started working on the software, and then I convinced him to move back to India. So now he is in India here in Hyderabad.
Okay.
Now he's very happy. The good thing is he already worked on a BMS called Fox BMS,
Okay.
which is one of the leading open source BMS in the world.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that knowledge, because he was part of the team, right? So we were able to build that in India, very quickly, all from his expertise and knowledge that he got from that company, right? And obviously we changed. We wrote our code from scratch. Okay. From line 1 we wrote here, and then we have our own hardware engineers who designs the PCBs, right? So now we have a strong technical team and research team also. So we are around 15 people right now. So mostly into this research and development.
So it's more like your software team is a software company is supporting to run the hardware company as of now.
Yes, my software company also helped in building the cloud, especially the IoT. We use everything. Since I am from Microsoft background, so we use Azure IoT, right? And from Azure IoT, we feed the data. There are some Azure functions which filter the data, because we send data for every 100 milliseconds. We send the data from the BMS to the cloud.
Oh,
okay. Because we wanted to build a digital twin also. Okay.
What is a digital twin?
It's like a digital model of a physical system. So let's say if I tell
It's
you
characterizing the battery.
exactly characterizing it, because how do you know? See, take anything, right? Anything like a bulb, right? A bulb has maybe you can measure few things of the bulb, like let's say brightness you can measure, maybe temperature you can measure, right? And you can also, when you see it, you know that. So whatever you can measure, when you send everything as telemetry data to the system, like a digital system, you can model it in the cloud only. So you can model its behavior and everything. So whenever you have like new data coming in or new technology coming in, you can test on this digital model rather than the physical model.
Okay.
Because whatever is measurable is already being taken to the cloud, and you are building a digital system.
But there are so many different usage patterns for a battery, right? Sometimes you have spikes, sometimes you have low current usage.
Because it is
different-
continuously built for years.
So
And we know how much load it is currently there on the battery also. So we can model it. Okay. So this chemistry behaves like this when the load is this much. So I'll be able to frame this knowledge on the raw information, and then it will be useful for my other things as well. All right. So we are using a lot of these time series databases in the cloud, and we wanted to give this data to the companies also. So we put everything like multi-tenancy, and we put API also, enterprise API on top of this thing. So all that software solution is ready.
Okay.
Yeah. But not for the home. So home, I think you can only track on your phone or something, client apps. But if it is a fleet, let's say a 2-wheeler company, 3-wheeler company is buying your BMS. So they want to buy everything, right, including the cloud infrastructure, so that they want to track everything. Because if some vehicle has exploded, they want to see, they want to dig down, exactly, diagnostics, right?
But there'll be some cost of network, right? Because if you have a remote device, you have to connect some cellular connectivity, and
Right,
there's a
cellular
cost to it, monthly cost of
Correct.
uploading the data.
Correct. And most of the two-wheelers in India, like Ather, Ola and all, they have this same connectivity.
Okay.
They have that
They also
cell
have
phone
onboard
network.
connectivity.
Okay.
They place some kind of SIM card kind of thing into the vehicle only. Obviously, if the coverage is not there, it won't send any data. But when coverage is there, it can send the data. But we send a raw data with small packet of information. It's not a lot. Connectivity
Probably
wise,
temperature, time instant temperature, voltage.
we send voltage of each cell also.
Yeah.
Each cell.
I can assume.
Let's say if one cell is going bad,
You can detect.
so I can detect which cell is going bad, and also I can do the predictive maintenance also, because I can detect the abnormal conditions. If something is abnormal, I can get the notification and I can do the predictive maintenance. Okay. So all this knowledge is important, because when you have a fleet, or when you have let's say telecom company is buying all these things and they want to keep all these batteries in all cell phone towers, because right now cell phone tower, when power is not there, it is powered by generator. And transiently they use lead acid battery packs also until the generator kicks in.
So how does the cost factor compare with lead acid to lithium ion?
That's a very, very good question, because everybody's question is around that, the cost. Especially India being a cost sensitive market, unless there is some cost advantage, no one is going to purchase it, right? So we need, in order to understand the cost, I mean, if you ask me, in one word, I would say around 30% more. Lithium costs are 30% more. Just a short answer.
How would you show the benefit of this 30% upfront cost
exactly
over the...
Yeah, lifetime cost, I would say lithium is 70% cheaper. 70%. If you take the lifetime cost, the overall cost.
Due course of time.
But upfront, lithium is 30% more. And that fact is, that 30% is changing, right? It is getting reduced, every quarter. So if you ask me the same question, maybe I would say 20% next year. Okay. But it has a lot of other advantages, lithium. So I would probably explain all these advantages, right? So first of all, you don't need to replace for every 4 years or 5 years. Lead acid batteries you have to replace, because the number of cycles, typically it offers 300 or 350, 400 max. Think about the cycles from lithium batteries, right? So 2000 you're talking about, 2000, 3000, and I heard 6000, 8000 also.
But all of those will come at a cost, probably 6,000 cycles or 8,000.
No, not that much.
Compared to 2,000.
Marginal cost. I don't say it's like a multiplier. I would say it's like a marginal cost.
But 8,000 is like 20 years. Where do we see these kind of batteries normally in our day-to-day life?
In the future?
So right now, none of them are having that kind of a life cycle.
Right now, none exists, right? But all this information, we are getting it from China, from trusted sources, right? So I've recently seen like 8,000 cycles, like as you said, 20 years of lifetime or maybe more, right? So just like solar panels, right? They last as long as a solar panel, because solar panels, they don't have any moving components. Here also the battery cell, they don't have any moving components, right? It can run. So I would say mostly into the stationary energy storage, because energy storage is important not for the EVs but also for the grid also, because at the moment 40% of our energy is coming from renewable energy, like solar and wind. Mostly solar, I would say. Wind is only small percentage of it, right? And we have a goal that by 2030 we have to get 50% of our energy from solar and wind, which are intermittent in nature, right? So how do you support your grid at night when there is no sunlight, right?
Some would say nuclear.
Nuclear, but nuclear is still around, maybe it is serving around 5%. We couldn't achieve because we have the technology, right?
But there's a lot of investment in small modular reactors of late, right?
I'm curious. I think if that happens, that's good, right? But it's not going beyond that point. because every time you might hear the news about cold fusion or something, right? But
There is one in Hyderabad, in fact, called Hylanar.
Yeah.
They are into cold fusion.
Cold fusion, yeah. So the commercialization of that is actually, I don't know. I'm still waiting for the commercialization, right? So you can measure the success of technology and how soon you can commercialize it. Okay. So this nuclear and all, right? And we can ask that question. So if anybody says, if we have, let's build a nuclear power plant like 50 kilometers from Hyderabad, we all protest. Okay. I think there is a right reason also, because people are afraid of nuclear things. What happened in Japan? You can see, what happened in Japan, right? We don't have complete control on it, right? And also
fusion is also making strides off late, right?
Fusion, that is still again commercialization.
It's making
That's where again the China is ahead, right?
They were able to sustain some multiple seconds of fusion. I think.
I think it's if you are able to do it now, it's great actually. I think people thought the same around 50 years ago when we were getting this nuclear energy, and everybody dreamt of cheap energy. But where are we?
So Satish, I would like to understand something from you. You started your career as a employee, then you switched to freelancing. So how has your financial journey been? Like, did you go through any kind of a tough phase, or it was more smoother when you went going solo, freelancing, selling courses on Udemy?
Oh yeah. Yeah. The thing is, the advantage of, if anybody is listening to the podcast, if you don't like your job, there is great market as a corporate trainer. Okay. Because the advantage is you can only work for a week in a month, and probably get paid more than your monthly salary. Okay. So 10 years ago, I used to charge around 50,000 per day. So that much thing, because these are all corporates you can charge. They don't find another trainer, are very difficult to find.
So why would they hire a corporate trainer? Why they already have their own in-house trainers, right?
Because not all of them are good teachers, I would say. Teaching is
with industry
that pedagogy is a really a different skill. Okay. So if you ask any professor, I think professors are both actually. They'll be able to explain it better, and they'll be able to do research also, do the development also. Okay. But if you ask the same thing to a very, very highly technical guy, he may not explain that very well, although he can do it successfully, right? And also, I don't know, maybe they think that the external like a trainer is more knowledgeable than their own people.
And probably true also, because you would have interacted with multiple companies, understood their multiple use cases.
I know.
You would have seen the variety.
I know how to teach them. I mean, I know to what point they'll feel satisfied. Because sometimes if you go to corporate training, you find a fresher and you find 10-year experienced guy. And you tell me, how do you teach? You have to satisfy them, because at the end of the training, you have to give the feedback form to them. They will fill the feedback form.
And that is the worst part of corporate training.
Corporate training. So the key is to build a relationship with them, personal relationship, because you'll be there for 5 days. You talk to them each and every day, understand their journey,
and figure out what it is they want from the training, and see
exactly what are they expecting. Why are they in the training? They want to learn only basics, or they know the basics, they want to be expertise in the technology. So I would definitely say, in 5 days you don't learn, you cannot become an expert. So setting that expectation is also very important. Okay, unless you are hiring me for a very specialized training, right? So I don't think you will get the required knowledge in 5 days.
So how much time do you spend in Pascal case versus Xbattery?
Nowadays, I think most of my time goes for the Xbattery, because a Pascal case is on kind of a autopilot mode, and so there are senior employees who are taking care of that. So I would say I'm almost out of Pascal case. So most of my energy is going towards Xbattery.
And this is something you're trying to build a business case. At what stage is Xbattery?
Yeah. So we wanted to achieve that product market fit. Okay. So what we think is going to be, like obviously if you build it, we think it's going to be great. How do you know that? Because you have to talk to your customer. So, but again, in order to put that in your customer house, imagine, it is dealing with electricity, right? And,
Trust. How do
and
you,
it is dealing with the batteries also.
How do you build that trust that this is very safe to use and this gets the job done? Because when people think of inverters, they will only think about those which are like APC and something which is
Branded.
known.
So that is the reason we are actually at the stage of building the second MVP. We build the second MVP. MVP means minimum viable product. So we are testing that throughout the lab. Now the second MVP, we are deploying it in customer places, right? And then we gather the data since everything is connected to the cloud. So in 1 month or maybe max 1.5 months, we get all the required data and we build the production ready one from that.
Give me a tentative idea about the cost of a 5
I
kilowatt.
was exactly going to ask, if I have
Oh,
to
yeah,
install
we-
it in my home, how
yeah,
much
we-
does it cost?
We left that thing, right? Yeah. So I would say, okay, let's go for the similar capacity for lead acid, right? In the lead acid, you have to buy probably 6 or 7 those big ones, right?
Right.
In order to meet 5 kilowatt hour one. Okay. So, and there is also another concept called depth of discharge, DOD. Because lead acid batteries, you cannot get the full rated power. Let's say if it is rated
There's less
100
efficiency.
AH, you can only extract maybe
80
50 or 60 max. And the lithium you can extract 95% easily.
So you're saying it can be deeply discharged and then you can fully charge it, it won't degrade.
Correct. It won't degrade. It won't degrade, and it can also, the rate of charging also important. Imagine the power is gone for longer time. You got your battery depleted and then the power came for 1 hour. So you should be able to charge it immediately, because what if the power goes again? Right? Lead acid, it would take like, maybe 10 hours, 15 hours.
But that's also a trade-off, right? If you try to charge it quickly, one, temperature will increase. Second, the life of the battery will also...
That's where we
have an
come in, the
impact.
BMS comes in. So nowadays the chemistry is in such a way that it is allowing that. Because few years ago, just 1 or 2 years ago, people used to say, I think you shouldn't charge your car more than 80%, right? Or even phone also,
Phone
right?
batteries also.
Yeah, but it's not the case anymore. Okay, depending upon the manufacturer, now you can safely charge until 100% also, 95, 100.
So you have that constant voltage, constant current, and then you have a constant voltage phase.
Yeah, because
for
of
trickle
the
charge.
improvements in the battery chemistry, I would say one, and the improvement in the electronics also, how this controls the battery cells.
So still the price.
Oh yeah. So coming back to the price, so I was talking about depth of discharge, right? So because of all these parameters, imagine 5 these big bulky ones in a room, right? So it can fill maybe quarter of your bedroom, right?
For 5 kilowatts.
Yeah, if it is a lead acid. Okay, if it is a lead acid,
Mm.
now so it would cost you around 70,000. Okay,
For
because
5
you have to buy
kilowatts.
7. Yeah, you have to buy 7 of such batteries. Maybe you can Google it.
Each lead acid is what, 12 Ah or something?
Always 12 Ah.
12 Ah.
Always 12. And the capacity, which is measured in terms of ampere hour, so it would be around 100, 150, 200 also. These are the standard sizes. So depending upon the sizes, so you have to spend around 75,000 to 80,000 you have to spend, okay, on the batteries alone.
Yeah.
And you need inverters, because battery is a DC, right? And all your appliances in your home is AC, so you have to convert it. So you need UPS. Typically we call it UPS, but there's an inverter.
Another 20K on that.
I think you need more, because now you're talking about 5 kilowatt hour.
5 kilowatt. Yeah.
So the price exponentially increases depending upon the capacity of the inverter also. Because I have inverters starting from 20,000 to 4 lakhs also. Yeah, it is doing the same job. It's all about the power it is handling. If you want it to handle high power, like 5 kilowatt at any point of time, so you need a bigger inverter, okay, which will cost you more. So maybe it will cost you around 60,000 to 1 lakh you have to spend on the inverter. Okay. But inverter price is common in both lithium and in both lead acid. So keep out the inverter from this costing. Now talk about lithium-ion.
Lithium.
So in the lithium batteries, I was talking about this Indian manufacturer, right? So I got the quotation for 1 kilowatt hour. They were ready to supply for 6,000 rupees. Okay.
So 30,000.
30,000, and you need all other components also, a lot of BMS, because lead acid doesn't need any BMS. That is the reason it dies quickly. That's another case. But here you need BMS, the electronics. You need other things also to take care of it. So the total cost for us, for a manufacturer, I would probably give it around 1 lakh. So that is the reason I say it is around 30% cheaper. Lead acid is 30% cheaper compared to lithium.
So which means you'll have to charge at least 1.3, 1.5.
Correct.
So that you even recoup your R&D and...
I would be able to manufacture less than that, less than 1 lakh. So probably we are putting it around 1,10,000, something in that figure.
Just for the battery, not the inverter.
Just
for
the
whole solution.
Just for the whole, only the battery side.
Only the battery.
Like
Okay.
just like
It's common for both the setups.
So think about the just like a Tesla Powerwall. So the entire system I'm talking about. Okay, and we have a lot of protection here because you are paying for electronics. So this is any day safer compared to your lead acid.
How much is the difference in terms of the physical size factor?
Yeah, physical size I would say almost you can save 70% of the space.
Okay.
It's a lot actually, considering we are paying for the space, right? Wherever we are.
But they are pretty dense and they are heavy, right?
Huh?
They are pretty dense and heavy to
Lead
carry
acid.
around.
Lead acid.
The
Yes.
lithium ones also.
Yes, but lead acid is a lot, I think.
Definitely.
Lead acid,
But lead acid.
I think the casing is also considerable weight, right?
But lead acid, the reason why I asked you about the weight is because lead acid at least comes in multiple batteries, so you can carry each of those 15 kgs, 15 kgs.
And why do you
This
want
is
to carry
one-
that? Why do
No,
you want to
want
carry?
have carry? I'm saying initial setup also. You have to just
Setup,
move it.
yeah, setup is, I think that is easily handled. Okay, so we have we can put wheels. You can just simply move it. Another thing is, we are planning to install it to the wall actually. If you see our designs in our website, you see that it can be installed to a wall, like even in your parking lot. You can just put it, so it won't consume any space, even
but when
down
you,
the
you
floor
keep
space.
mentioning about Tesla Powerwall, and third time you just mentioned, so I just got a question. See, there's a bigger difference between Tesla Powerwall versus this battery. Here you're talking about switching from the lead acid to lithium battery, while Tesla Powerwall is something which is converting solar current into solar into electric.
Even in our case also we can connect it to solar. Because here I'm not seeing the off-grid capability. I don't think a lot of people go for that unless you are in very remote area. But Tesla is also connected, grid connected, right? Most of the scenarios in US, especially in Australia also. Now it's kind of a mandate to have some kind of energy storage device. So now it is always connected to the grid. It's not like a complete off-grid solution.
Okay.
Here also the same thing. And good thing is you can use the same inverter for both solar and energy storage device for Xbattery. You don't need two inverters. This is more suitable for if you have the solar panel. If you have the inverter, you don't need to buy the inverter again. You can just plug the battery in.
So you're in your second iteration of the MVP, right? And
Yeah, right. Second one.
So is there a pilot? When are you planning to pilot it in
I think
the field?
this month only.
Okay.
Yeah, we are talking to the people who can install it in their places.
I noticed two options models also. I think one is 5 kilowatt hour and one was
50,
very bigger.
50. 51 because we are waiting for our facility to start. So because 50 you can imagine it's very big one. Okay, and it's a bit hazardous to handle also, right? So with the capacity that we are in, because our team is mostly on the research side, not on the the manufacturing side, right? So I need to have specialized people to handle big batteries, and normal electricians who work with AC, they cannot handle it. Battery thing is a bit different, so they need some specialized training also.
If they wrongly connect something, it will probably explode.
Correct. It will burn basically. The batteries won't explode usually. It will kind of burn.
So you use prismatic or you use
Prismatic.
Okay, you use prismatic.
In most energy storage scenarios, we use prismatic. But our battery pack, our BMS can be used in any configuration. We can build any kind of battery pack, be it a cylindrical for two-wheeler, or prismatic for four-wheeler, or a energy storage for an entire community. Think about apartment and you want to install it. Why do you want to install it? Because your generator may not kick in on time. So you want to provide that transient backup, even though it is for a couple of seconds, but it immensely adds a value.
So just hypothetical, for a community of this size, how many kilowatts or do we need a megawatt? for the transient storage to switch
For
from
transient,
DG?
because now we need to see how much period you want backup. Right.
Our generator kicks in like 20 seconds, assume.
20 seconds. Yeah. 20 seconds is the standard time for the generator to kick in, right? So we need to see the power requirement of the community also. Okay. So I would say maybe 200 kilowatt hour to 500 kilowatt hour is sufficient.
So 200 to 500 kilowatt hour, and it should be capable of high discharge probably.
That is the important thing. So your lifts should run, right? And
Because-
your motors should run.
Yeah, 500 kilowatt hour, and you want to run it just for 20 seconds, almost like 180 into 500 amps just to discharge. Some very high amperage has to go out of
Correct. Yeah.
this.
It has to. And see, this is another biggest selling point of lithium, because I'm expecting all these home inverters, lead acid inverters, will go away in 3 years. That is my prediction. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, it will go away because lithium will give you a lot of advantage in terms of how many appliances you can run. It's not about having the energy; it's how much you can pull out of it. Okay, that also matters.
But wouldn't the government policies change everything, the whole scenario? Like I visit Maharashtra every year and I notice every house has a inverter of their own because they keep getting power cuts. While I go to Gujarat, no one has an inverter. There are no power cuts. And now Telangana also has moved to almost no power cuts. So if there are no power cuts, wouldn't that reduce the dependency on these batteries?
The thing is, I don't agree that, because there are always power cuts in India. Because even in
No, you check with most people in Gujarat, you'll realize the fact, because
I mean, it won't go for long period, but you have the transient thing, like maybe for 5 minutes.
But for that, we also have these generators, right? I mean, when you both were just
It's all
discussing
about convenience.
society's requirement, the cost of having a huge battery setup for that 20 seconds versus anyway, we all own a generator for bigger calamities, like bigger power cuts.
So that's the reason we are going for high-end homes, right? Where if you compare any villa, in Hyderabad, probably you need to spend more than 5 crores, 15, 10. For them, 1 lakh is nothing, because if it is providing this seamless backup, you don't even notice. For example, some people if you're running a PC, right? So you need a different backup for that.
Continuous connectivity.
And even if you have a router, multiple routers, then you need backup for each. Right? And
I have 2.
right? Yeah, I've seen people are having like 5 or 10 such like UPS systems, right? So for them it is a value. And also this does another thing, which is a blessing in disguise, is that it can act as a stabilizer also.
True.
But everything will have to go through. But if it's acting as a stabilizer, then it's discharging all the time, is it?
No, it can detect if the power is not quality power. It can detect through electronically, and then if it is not good, then I can shift my load to the battery. Okay, so you can program your inverter like that. So from my BMS, I can connect to the inverter. I can program. If it is beyond certain parameters, always use the battery. Let's say in last 10 seconds, you got 2 or 3 power cuts. Now it can sense it's not a good time to connect to the grid. It can always connect to the battery.
Okay.
And then it will repeatedly check for after 1 minute or 2 minutes, it will check how many power, because it knows everything.
So what is going to be your main target segment?
So since we have a direct product for homes, so the high-end villas is probably the direct we are targeting them, but not individually.
B2C is always hard.
Exactly. So we are always going with these real estate developers. Okay. And so we recently signed a deal for 200 such units for a villa community in Hyderabad. They don't want to disclose the name, otherwise I could have disclosed. So now they want to give this as a kind of a extra feature in their in the real estate, because they cannot, I mean, there isn't much differentiation in terms of product, right? For the villa, everybody is coming up with the same kind of a thing. So they want to do now. The smart home size is becoming more.
But why would the developers opt for a more expensive one when, say, a cheaper lead acid alternative is available?
For them, because these are the customers who don't think about immediate upfront cost, but think about total cost of ownership. For them, lithium is cheaper.
Right. So generally, what is the lifetime of a lithium battery?
We can give you warranty for 10 years.
Okay.
Warranty. And if you see all
So
the
how
car
many charge cycles are
manufacturers,
we talking about?
we are talking about typically around 1000 to 2000.
But 1000 means it's going to be 3 years, right?
You don't discharge every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about full DOD, depth of discharge, complete one cycle.
Okay.
Not like on the top only.
So how is the cycle counted? Like sometimes even if there's a 10% discharge, again it gets charged and it's counted as a cycle.
As 10% of a cycle.
No, when it
Correct.
comes to
Yeah, like that.
smartphones, if you see, even if you charge your phone up to 50% and recharge it, sometimes it's counted as a full cycle, which is why they recommend you go for 80% at least.
Probably older technologies, maybe you can answer that.
Yeah.
The newer ones, it's proportional percentage.
Usually, for people who are wondering about the battery life, I would say don't get bothered by that. Okay, I think your energy can be concentrated elsewhere, because a lot of people see, when I can do it for 80 and then I have to remove it, or I shouldn't go beyond 5 or 10, right? Don't worry, it won't. Maybe it used to be like that a couple of years ago, but not anymore. Obviously, all these high-end cell manufacturers, they go for good batteries.
No, but again, there's a reason behind it, because like Apple doesn't allow you to change your battery unless it's discharged beyond 80%. They have this whole charging cycles data in your phone, and even if it's in warranty, if it has not crossed 80, they won't change the battery itself. They would say you have to still keep using it. So you already lost 20% of your battery in actual. So if your phone was working for 5 screen on time hours, now it's working for 20% less, which is 4 hours. But they wouldn't change it because officially you need to have at least less than 80% of discharge.
And you know what? You would be surprised. You can control everything, the number of cycle from the manufacturer side. So it's all about BMS, because even in cell phone also you have small BMS circuit, right? And it is fully controlled by the OS, operating system. So they can control whatever the number of cycles, your usage patterns, everything they can control, the limits.
That's what
if they want you to go out of the warranty, they can make you to go out of the warranty.
I used to have some laptops. If it's 2-year warranty, exactly at end of 2 years, the battery has to be replaced.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
I would never have used that battery. It would always be powered on. I never use the battery.
On the battery,
Still, in 2 years, it's dead.
Exactly, right? Yeah. You would ask that question, and if it is always connected.
But then what's the point of the whole thing about charging cycles and everything when you never use it on battery and still it's dead?
Yeah, that's
so there have been no cycles, and that's what I'm saying.
No, it is about manufacturers doing these kind of things. I'm not saying all manufacturers do that. Okay.
So we're talking about well-known brands, right?
Yeah, well-known. Still,
I mean, they may not do at that level, but they may do slightly. Okay. I don't think they'll do directly that. But in certain cases, they may. Right.
I can see it. It does not make sense to me. I've never put it on battery, but the moment I need it, it's like 5 minutes.
5 minutes. True. That's what I said. So that's about Xbattery and Pascal case. I'm still wondering, why did you still go towards a battery business when you could still enhance the whole software world, because now everyone is going into AI. You had a good control over software business. You still think that hardware is the way to go?
Nowadays, I think a lot of people are asking, because the way AI is growing in the last 2 years, I think you might have surprised, right? In a lot of time. How many times you surprised in the last 2 years, right? If the same thing keep happening in the future, I don't think there is any need to require developers in 5 years. Okay.
We keep hearing that, but someone has to write the code for...
Somebody might have to write only the pseudo code kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm still not
in most
sure.
of the areas.
Maybe the robotic ones can be replaced, but I think the core stuff still needs to be built. Just my personal thought that you may get 80% of it done through AI. The remaining 20% is going to be the hardest to get it done through that. And at some point, you'd rather do that to get it
I thought so
perfect?
actually. Even I thought when ChatGPT came in, right? But I had to change my opinion on a lot of things, on what it is doing. Obviously, you need to tell,
Prompt.
how it has to deploy. Yes, exactly. But I'm talking about, so coming to your question, right? Why? So there is now, when you are starting a business, now you have to think about, is it AI proof or not? Or will some LLM eat your software?
For breakfast.
Right? So that's what, even this Sam Altman also said, right? He was talking to some developers, group of developers who were building some ecosystem on the ChatGPT initially. So they built a lot of tools around it. But this big LLM took over most of its functions. Now general LLM is doing everything, right? For image generation, it is also reading the images, reading the video also, right? Producing the video, producing the audio also, right? So now we are talking about the multimedia as well, right? So anything that you build, most of the things probably there is high chance that your AI will do it, or the big LLM only, or maybe some specialized focused LLMs.
Still, everyone is building wrappers around LLMs and selling it. The more money is there in the wrappers than the LLM
Correct.
itself.
Yeah.
The one who's building the core LLM is not making any money.
So finding that use case in that specific domain and going to the market quickly and then making profit until some other better software will come in. I think that is the key. So that's the reason I was always thinking, I think there should be some hardware interfacing. Okay, right? So it doesn't need to be a core hardware, but you need to work on something which your hardware you are interacting with your hardware also. So that's the reason I thought, okay, this battery thing, BMS thing is very difficult to be done by the AI because it requires the manufacturing of the electronics.
I have to ask, you said Pascal case was an autopilot and you no longer need it. So was it your boredom that drove you to do something very, very different than what you usually do?
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Because when everything is running fine, you want some other reason to,
Keep pushing yourself.
Yeah.
So, if someone wants to do freelancing in this current time, do you have anything in mind, like selling courses, or as you mentioned about corporate training? What should be something which someone who is just out of college should do?
For a person who is just out of the college, I think it would be difficult to become a corporate trainer.
I mean, he can, if that's a goal, within a year he can do it, right?
Because you have to handle people, of 15 years of experience. I've seen number of times project managers used to sit in my, in the session. How do you control them? And they want to show their knowledge in front of everyone, right? So I think you have to work in the industry. Then you'll be able to answer. And they ask the question from their specific experience, personal experience, right? So corporate training is very difficult unless you worked on the technology on your own. Because you said you worked on web development for so long, right? So you should be able to answer it very well, not because you learned it from somewhere, because of your past experiences with the technology, right? I think that matters a lot.
But I think even for corporate experience, if someone is able to do online freelancing or doing online gigs, then they would have good experience.
Correct.
They don't really need to have a job for that.
Of course. They can do it. Yeah. When I say experience, any experience that they have, maybe let's say 3 years, minimum 3 years of experience, they should have it. Then you can be a good corporate trainer. Okay. And you don't feel pressurized. And also you should have that little bit of communication skills and ability to communicate your thoughts. That is also a very, very important skill to have it. I think for college people, it's very difficult to have those skills. If you have those, well and good.
So you have been kind of, I would say, all your life in Hyderabad in terms of the city. So when it comes to, I keep talking about investing and everything. So where do you like to invest? Stock market, or is it lands, or what is your favorite?
Because I have these startups, so probably whatever I have, I would prefer investing in my own.
Okay.
Right? So I have very less money in stocks compared to my friends. Some of my friends have like a lot of money in stocks, and they are retired also, some of them.
Because of that exposure to stocks.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're fairly successful.
They must have come out of retirement in the last 6 months.
They lost also, but they're still stronger because they know that these things would happen. Okay. So they would protect their positions. But so I wouldn't invest in stocks because I'm not good at it. Okay. Probably long term, I think based on again fundamentals. Right. That is my route. Talking about stocks now, we have very good stocks at discount, right? Especially the EV related stocks, energy storage stocks. And by the way, this energy storage is going to be a huge thing. Now we are talking about energy storage in a grid. Recently, you might have seen 250 megawatt hour tender in Telangana to install a battery pack at the substation level.
Okay.
Oh.
Why are they doing it? Because they want to give that. There is some concept called load sharing and peak shaving or load shedding. So you see a lot of power fluctuations because your grid cannot take it. So they have to switch it on, measure that how much load, the current load, and if it holds, good. If it doesn't hold, power cut happens again. So in those scenarios, your battery will kick in. So now they are building a battery for Hyderabad based on lithium.
What are the top 5 companies on stock market which are into these kind of businesses?
In Hyderabad itself, there are a couple. I think HBL.
India based stocks. I'm asking.
Yeah, I think any battery stocks are good. Exide, Amar Raja, and I think because all these guys are building plants, lithium battery plants, so that's very good thing. And
but these are all well-known players which have been into this business from decades. Like in terms of stocks also, there's not much which can be the current fall is just 20, 30, 40% fall. I'm asking about some companies which are just coming up or which have just been into this business. Like Sonacoms is one of those.
Someone doing very different than what the conventional players are doing.
And someone which is like an opportunity which we can look into. No one else has heard about those companies.
In the energy sector, I couldn't find any companies because mostly, probably we are the first company who is focusing on the BMS for the large scale battery packs. For small scale, yes, we have Indian, for example, Ather has their own battery packs. They are using it for 2-wheelers. Pure EV, they have their own BMS. They are building it their own thing. And there are companies like Wakemocon, but they are not public.
None of these are public.
See, a lot of companies are not public actually. That's the reason I'm unable to suggest. I know the companies.
Part of
is it part of?
They have got a huge investment from I think Hero Group or someone.
But there is still no way to invest for retailers.
Right.
So you have to go through private equity. But they won't care, I guess, with the amount of money that we have.
True.
I mean, typical investor has.
Yeah.
But there are, if you are a PE, private investor, if you want to invest in PE, private equity, there are a lot of options. Right. But mostly, I think by the time they go for the IPO, mostly stock is inflated. It's like all juice is taken out of it.
That is a risk. All battery is taken out of it.
So it cannot hold the prices, right? That's the problem, right? Why would an IPO stock, again, that price, it will breach that price and come down, especially with Ola.
Yeah.
And Ola Electric.
From 146 to 46.
But it has got
companies have also filed for insolvency. Some Ola.
But I'm very strongly positive on Ola Electric. Yeah,
they're doing good numbers at least.
Numbers
in terms of numbers, they're still doing good.
I think whatever their servicing problems, that is only temporary. People forget. So in 6 months, their mindset changes.
Yeah.
They have very sexy scooters.
What matters is eventually they're doing good numbers.
Exactly, and they have that ability to do the numbers. Okay, so in the manufacturing, that is the most difficult thing, na?
True.
The numbers. Getting the numbers.
There are some EV scooter companies which are saying we have the best vehicles, zero volume. Ola doesn't say we have the best. I mean, they do say that. People don't think they are the best, but eventually they are outselling everyone else.
Scale is beating.
So even they have negative PR,
they're at least eventually selling stocks.
I think that's a very good opportunity, and they have very good manufacturing presence also. The factory that they have in Chennai is large.
True.
And they are also, I heard, they are planning another factory also. Right. So, and they are able to produce the numbers. That is the most important thing. Right now, they may not be making a lot of profit on these things, but two-wheeler is the easiest market to be.
So talking about factories, Hyderabad also has a EV battery hub, right?
Yes, I mean, I don't call it a hub. I think there are few factories coming up, especially Amar Raja factory is there near.
Where are
near
these located? All of these?
Some of them near are around 50 kilometers of Hyderabad.
Okay.
I think Amar Raja is on the Bangalore highway.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go around 70 kilometers or 80. But I think Hyderabad is going to be hub. I was very happy when they announced the BYD thing because
It's
if
a
that
huge
if a
investment.
that kind of company comes in, you have these the other companies comes in. It's like a very big, it's like a coral reef.
It's like a magnet.
Exactly,
Pull
I
all the
would say.
smaller companies.
Yeah. So when the
Just
coral
like Tesla would have been a big boost.
so when you have that coral reef, you have all that fish and everything around that.
Whole ecosystem will get
Whole
built
ecosystem
around it.
will build. That is the most important thing.
Hmm.
The same thing happened to the Kia also, right? While you are going to Bangalore, you find that in Anantapur there is Kia. So you find a lot of small companies,
All the component makers,
all the component
accessory
makers, yeah.
they all come up nearby. So it helps them
Exactly.
support each other.
And then we would get our cells here only. Imagine if we get our own cells here, it would be very easy for us. Of course, we could be competitors to them, but it's very huge market.
True.
Okay, I don't think they'll cater to all the markets. Okay, I think their main focus is on these EVs, large scale EVs, and plus the energy storage, large scale energy storage.
True.
For example, you can design a lot of battery packs for ATMs, or for specific factories, because you don't want to stop your assembly line, right?
For example, the clean fabs and all that need uninterrupted power.
Exactly, data centers, right? And the railway equipment, okay, and hospitals, very very crucial, right? I think a lot of buildings also. Take any commercial building, you go to the ground floor, parking floor, you find a UPS room. Go there. Usually you are not allowed. You take permission and go inside. You find a lot of lead acid batteries in racks. It's like a server room. You'll be surprised how many lead acid batteries these guys use. Even any building, any commercial building in Hyderabad. Okay, so every building could be your customer.
But now we also have instant turning on generators also.
Very difficult to do.
You mean with super caps or capacitive?
Which don't
storage?
take that 5-second break cut also. It instantly turns on.
Still, there'll be a off. I think there'll be.
See, these are large mechanical systems, right? So there is a lot of probability of going it down.
So even if what my point is, even if there's 1 or 2 seconds break, that would be connecting those devices like routers or the minimum required things to the UPS or lead acids, and other things are automatically switching to the generators. Earlier the generators had to be manually turned on. It would take few seconds. Now we have auto turning
Still,
on.
that gap is there where batteries have to fill that role.
But the requirement of batteries isn't that much. Like
no, but power usage.
If you take everything, right?
Large.
If you take, the requirement of the power at that moment is what
is needed.
What is needed, yeah. So everything. So you don't need to replace your diesel generator. That is the reason I'm saying. Eventually they'll be replaced, but it will take a lot of time. So eventually you can replace lead acid with these lithium batteries. I think in most scenarios they'll be replaced in a couple of years. Maybe in some places you still see lead acid, especially
It's all a
cars.
cost game.
It's all a cost
Lithium
game,
has to beat lead acid cost.
So first these high-end applications where they cannot afford even power cut of microsecond also, right? So those applications
power
first, and then slowly it will spread.
True.
And once these factories are here, right? So then I would think eventually everybody will have lead acid, lithium only, not lead acid.
Interesting insights. Interesting. Hoping that everyone switches from lead acid to lithium, which is anyway bound to happen anyway eventually.
Yeah, because we have lot of because if you see the energy policy, that's the reason central government has brought up this energy policy, and they are mandating every discom. So every discom in every state should have some amount of energy storage. Okay, because even solar power plants also, they are putting energy storage on their solar, because sometimes if grid does not take it, so you have to store it. All these energy is getting wasted.
True.
So now you can imagine these lead acid lithium batteries everywhere, right from the power generation.
Your arch nemesis is always on your mind. Lead acid.
Yeah. So everywhere in the supply chain, right from the generation and also in the during the transmission and during the distribution, because at the substation level also these people are planning to put lithium batteries, and also at the consumption level also at our place.
Okay.
Right. So these are going to appear everywhere. And also the mobility aspect is another thing. EV itself is another big industry.
That's a big space.
So we are trying to solve, and the common solution is energy storage, obviously. And apart from cells, what is the most innovative component in that? The BMS. So that is the reason we are in that space.
How do you reduce the cost of your BMS, or what if someone has to buy just your BMS? What does it cost?
It will cost from 4,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees, depending upon the size, capacity of it.
Okay.
To reduce the cost, we have to manufacture here completely. Okay. And we should use local components. So most of our things we use local components, except a few key components.
Chip may be from
Germany.
Monolithic or one of those.
Yeah. We use NXP chips.
Okay.
The main microcontroller. So that probably, we can also think of replacing them eventually. When we have
microcontrollers are probably not expensive, right? What is the most expensive part? Is it?
But these are specialized microcontrollers. Okay.
In what way?
Because they can do a lot of. They are optimized for those functions. Okay. Not like a general purpose microcontrollers. Yeah. So if you take, for example, a microcontroller would cost us 700 rupees, 800 rupees. That's a lot of money for a chip.
But that's only one chip for the whole board, right? Or you need one for each cell?
We need a couple, like one on the sensing, cell balancing area, and one master thing we need to have.
That's for communication and everything else.
Normally, where we run the OS, that probably we can use generic one, but some things have to be very specialized chips, so we cannot replace them. But I've seen some companies are being come up at the chip level also, who can do the balancing only. Very good, sensing and balancing.
Like I said, monolithic power systems.
Correct.
And even TI has.
TI has their own. Yeah, we have seen the TI also, but we went ahead with NXP only because it had more accuracy in our analysis. Because all the high-end vehicles in Germany, and they were using NXP. Okay. So that led to the use of NXP than the
maybe
TI.
automotive grade chips.
Automotive grade. Yeah. We are using automotive grade only, even for stationary energy storage.
Okay.
And we have a lot of other sensors also, a lot of temperature sensors, a lot of pressure sensors. Okay.
Pressure, where do you monitor? In the prismatic thing, or?
We have in the chip. For temperature, yes, we have probes to the cells. And
pressure sensors, where do you
pressure
place
is
them?
on the board only.
On the
PCB,
board?
PCB, printed circuit, the electronic board.
How will it? How does it help?
During the stress, it can give you a signal.
If the PCB board is stressed, or
let's say if there is a abnormal, for example, during the thermal runaway, when the explosion happens, your physical environmental parameters change.
Temperature will be the first.
Temperature is there. So we have like a 3-level redundancy.
Okay, for the JETA.
We can do lots of
JETA compliance or something.
So we use like AutoSAR, which is automotive standard. That's what we are targeting for now. Probably that would be overkill for energy storage, but we are still targeting that. So, yeah.
So your office is in T-Hub for the Pascal case.
Right.
How did you get access to T-Works? Or
T-Works,
just trying to understand for someone who wants to start off as a hardware business.
Because to have an hardware, you need a lab. So a typical co-working space kind of facility will not work for you. So you need to have, sometimes you have to do welding also, sometimes you have to do soldering also, right? And then there will be noise, right? So for that requirement, you need a garage kind of thing, a lab kind of thing facility, right? So T-Works offers that facility. So there is something called startup program. So you can take like for 3 months or for 6 months, they give you passes. So they charge for it, of course, but that would be good environment to be in. And you can also leverage their facilities also. For example, they have equipment. For example, now we are doing this temperature testing for the board.
Okay.
So now we simulate minus 30 degrees. Where do we, if you want to simulate, how do we do it, right? Normally.
That is Hall testing.
Right. And HAL is again a different thing also. This is more like we have an environment chamber where we keep our device for days, and we simulate all kind of thing like a -30, and we can also simulate more than 100 degrees also. So if you want to buy that kind of equipment, it costs a lot. So it won't make sense for a startup to buy that equipment, right? And also if you want to do a battery welder.
So you have this shared facilities.
Exactly, you have shared facility. You can use a lot of common electronic equipment, testing equipment, common equipment you can use there. So that is another advantage.
So who pays all of this equipment, shared equipment need maintenance?
We pay it, whenever we pay on per hour basis.
Okay. So like equipment rentals, so to speak.
You can say yes, yeah.
It's like a clubhouse.
You exactly.
Clubhouse for startups.
So you get it for a cheaper rate. Obviously, if you go outside, it will cost you
You
a
don't
lot.
have to own the swimming pool. You're paying for the usage charges only.
Here also the same thing, yes.
So you're not paying for the whole room or the equipment. You're paying on a.
But we don't have all the facilities needed for the battery thing also.
It's a highly specialized domain.
Exactly. So if you want to have a load, how do you simulate the load on the battery? We have some load. The max load that we can find in the lab is probably cooler or maybe a microwave oven. I can bring it from my home and connect it. But that is
that's
just
in
one
watts,
profile.
100 watts probably. Yeah.
No. I think if it is a oven, it can go up to
1
800, 1 kilowatt also.
I have infinity types of hardware companies who want to work at T-Works. How can they make sure that they can bring everything for everyone, right?
Yeah.
You can have mostly it is around semiconductors. The whole setup is around
Semiconductors or is it manufacturing? Is T-Works
This is only prototyping.
prototyping?
So you can 3D print.
Right.
When we are manufacturing, do we 3D print? No, it's expensive.
Always mold.
But exactly. But to create a mold, it will take lakhs for a startup. So maybe 3D printing makes sense, right?
Or
For
CNCing
prototypes.
is another option.
Yeah, CNC is another option. So for a prototype, yes, you can do that. For manufacturing, you cannot do it. And they won't even allow.
It's not meant for mass manufacturing
It's
by
not
any
meant,
means.
it's not.
Yeah.
And they don't allow also because that area is not, that facility is not suitable. And I don't think pollution control board also allows that manufacturing.
True. So chalo, it was nice talking to you. We spoke about
likewise,
variety of topics and learned about lithium battery and the other lead battery, which
Lead
you don't want to
acid.
talk about.
Your arch nemesis, lead acid.
So it was interesting. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
and
Thank you very
speaking
much.
to us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Sure.
It was nice. Pleasure talking
Thank
to
you
you.
very much.
So if you have any specific queries, we'll definitely get in touch. And wishing you all the best for Xbattery.
Thank you.
And we hope that we have a bigger battery ecosystem in Hyderabad. So that
I'm looking forward to, there is a lot of opportunities in the battery space. Unfortunately, there are, especially from our Hyderabad, right? You see a lot of companies are coming up from Delhi area, right? North and Ahmedabad also nowadays, but not from Hyderabad. Right? Even though we have very great ecosystem.
No, but that's bound to happen.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
Let's hope for the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Chalo, thank you.
Thank you.
अगर आपको ये पॉडकास्ट पसंद आया है तो लाइक करना ना भूलें और टफ स्टोरी को यूट्यूब और सारे सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर फटाफट से फॉलो और सब्सक्राइब भी कर दीजिए। ऐसी इंटरेस्टिंग और इंस्पायरिंग कंटेंट के लिए मिलते हैं हम आपसे हमारे अगले एपिसोड में। तब तक के लिए गुड बाय।